Welcome to the OnlyFans Secrets Marketing Podcast. The goal of this podcast is to help both new and established OnlyFans creators learn the basics of online branding, marketing, and promotion to help you make more money with your content and maximize your time online. My name is Richard Lewis, and I have over 20 years of internet marketing experience. So let's get started with today's topic. And that topic is Sunday Secrets 7, answering listeners' OnlyFans questions. All right, so I am once again answering listeners' questions this week about OnlyFans. Before I begin, some listeners have had a hard time contacting me via OnlyFans. And I will say that is because we're up to over 2,000 fans on OnlyFans. And at this point, a lot of my DMs are spam, unfortunately. So I really would like everyone who wants to contact the podcast and contact me directly to reach out via Twitter at OnlyFansHero. That's the easiest way to reach out. I've now made the DMs so they are fully open, so I don't have to be following. You don't have to be following me. I will be able to reach right out to you about the podcast, about the Udemy course, and about any questions you have about OnlyFans. All right, so let's get right into listeners' questions. A listener in Washington, D.C. asks, I have both a free and a paid page on OnlyFans, but it's consuming a lot of my time logging in and out of accounts. Is there a better way of doing this? Okay, so yes, there are actually two solutions to this. You can link the two accounts inside your OnlyFans. So under the drop down, it will say add another account. So it's basically where your username is right now. If you click on that little down arrow, it'll show add another account. You can go ahead and add your account that way, the login information that you have, and then both accounts will be accessible through that one click. So you just would go back and forth. Like if you had several different accounts on Instagram or on Twitter, you're able to do it pretty much in the same way. The other option would be to use two different browsers. So either on a computer, a laptop, or on your phone, you would be able to use, say, Firefox for one account, and then use, Google Chrome for another. And you would be able to log into each of those and have them easily accessible, either as tabs on the browsers on a laptop or on your phone. So you have two options there, so you don't have to be consistently logging in and out of the two different accounts. You can have them both at the same time, and you can check them both at the same time as well. And that's going to be a lot less time consuming for you, and it's going to be able for you to be able to manage each of those accounts independently as well. Okay, great. So a listener in Baton Rouge, Louisiana asks, I am new to OnlyFans, and I keep getting requests for free previews. Is this a good idea? Okay, so I could say no. A free preview is sort of like a free sample where people will ask you, hey, I want to see what's going to be on your OnlyFans. Now, if you only have a VIP, what I would tell people is, hey, you want a free sample, go check me out on Instagram or on TikTok or wherever you might be keeping public view photos or videos. But you do not want to give people free previews. I don't even really recommend the whole one-day trial concept. People will just go in, see what you have, and then, forget about it 5 minutes later. I would definitely say that it's not a good idea. No one is going to end up subscribing. It's similar to the person at the gas station who's asks you for money every time you go to the gas station, and you give them money, and the next time you go there, they ask you for money again because they've forgotten you even exist. They're just playing a numbers game in hoping that they can get some money out of you. The same way that someone is trying to get these free previews, very unlikely that they are going to buy. And you do technically give out free previews to what's on, an OnlyFans page on other social media. So you can direct them to your other social media and say, hey, this is what I'm, giving out. And that could be, Twitter as well, if you're doing a lot of advertising on Twitter. But, not giving them free previews is not going to help build your OnlyFans page in the way that you're hoping it will. All right, so next question is a listener in San Diego, California asks, I got advice recently to get a down payment for any scheduled time live activity on my OnlyFans or off my OnlyFans. Do you advise this? So I would say absolutely. It's a really good idea. As far as, and what this creator is asking is, if you are doing a particular live show for a subscriber, either on or off OnlyFans, and you have scheduled, let's say, for 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the person just doesn't show up, and now you have taken the time to get yourself ready, get logged on, similar to if you were having a meeting with a Zoom meeting and with a potential client and they just don't show up. Now, I will say from a business standpoint, that happens all the time. You can be studious, but other people might not necessarily be studious. And now, they have wasted your time. So what this creator is asking is should you take advance payment? I definitely do think that's a good idea. Even if it's, 25 or 50%, then the person will, feel like they have, given some money already. So they're going to be more likely to show up on time and not waste your time. Obviously your time is valuable. So if somebody shows up 15 minutes late and they're going to expect the same thing, and now you've wasted 15 minutes. So I definitely think that that's a good idea as far as, giving a little bit ahead of time, or getting a little bit ahead of time before you commit to a live, show of any sort, especially if it's going to be paid to begin with, and you're not just doing it, for tips with many people. It's sort of like a custom cam show. And, obviously if you were off of OnlyFans or if you're on another platform, those sort of things cost quite a bit. So I would definitely consider taking some advanced payment. And, that way also, if something comes up and you can't do it yourself, you could give them that money back, and you just make sure that they know that. Okay, great. So a listener in Cincinnati, Ohio asks, what can be done about the recent renewal glitch on OnlyFans? I lost a lot of subs. I'm not feeling like I can get back. All right, so I have not touched on this topic, although it is a hot one among OnlyFans creators. I will say it's very unfair to creators, but there seems to be a mixed response from OnlyFans, where sometimes they'll acknowledge that this glitch exists, and other times they won't. There's really not much that can be done. There was some talk of people, hiring a lawyer for this. It would have to get pretty bad for it to get to like a class action lawsuit level. Unfortunately, OnlyFans, in most cases, will probably be protected for this, because they can just say, reasonable technical issues can occur, which does happen. Now they need to be making every effort to solve that problem as quickly as they can. Of course, with legalese, you can say, you were putting, so many hours in trying to fix it, and it's very unlikely for creators to be able to come back and get any monetary compensation for that. Now, I'll say trust is very important in business. And I hope that OnlyFans itself takes this more seriously. There is really nothing more important than being able to continue to have subscribers. And what the glitch is causing, it's causing, for those not aware, the subscribed people turn on their renewal of subscription. And what the glitch is doing is it's turning that off. So then people have to remember, oh, okay, yes, I want to subscribe to this creator, and go back manually and turn it back on. Once the glitch has, removed all of the renewals. And that can be quite devastating for creators, because most people rely on their renewals as their main source of income. So I will say, unfortunately, there's not much that can be done as long as OnlyFans itself is acting like they're trying to solve the issue. All right, so a listener in Pensacola, Florida asks, what happens if I just don't agree to the new terms of service? So sadly, you will not be able to continue using the site as a creator if you don't agree to the terms of service. That's sad, because obviously you could disagree with certain aspects of it, but if you're not willing to agree to it, then you no longer have legal right to use the platform, and they want legal rights from you. So it's kind of ironic, as we went over in a previous podcast, they want the legal right to license your material and to do a bunch of other things. But if you do not agree to the terms of service, you can't continue using the site. Now, I don't know if a lot of people will do that. If they do, I'm sure they have a legal obligation to pay you whatever is owed to you. Obviously, they have limits on that. And if you can't get back into the system, that would be a bit of a pain in the butt. But unfortunately, you really are going to need to go ahead and agree to the terms of service to continue using the site. If you feel strongly that you don't want to continue with that, then you can agree and then, come remove your material off of the site and end it. But in order to continue using it, you definitely have to agree to the terms of service. And then a listener in Montreal, Canada, asks, what are the 3 best channels to gain an audience right now for creators? Okay, so in my opinion right now, from marketing channels, I would say Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit. And each one of those have their own advantages. So I would say, something like Twitter, as I've gone over before, friendliest for creators, friendliest for 18 plus material, easiest to at least distribute your material and get it out there in front of a group of people. And then you're able to also see your followers. So they're not hidden behind a wall. You don't know where they are. You're able to actually click on and interact and DM and talk to your followers and comment underneath their particular their comments and their tweets. So for me, Twitter is number one as far as building an audience and getting some traction. And then the advantage of TikTok, which obviously not always OnlyFans friendly, so that's a disadvantage, but it also is the hottest social media platform right now. It has the most eyeballs. You're able to get in front of a lot of different people, and as we've gone over before, like building up your fame, so to speak, off of OnlyFans and getting a situation where you actually have real life fans. TikTok is ideal for that. So you're really going to be able to, if your videos are able to hit, you will be able to get a lot of people following you, and you will be able to be successful in that regard. So that's the advantage of TikTok. And then the advantage for Reddit is just instant exposure. So there's just a lot of different subreddits where you can just post your pictures, post your promotion, get seen. The negative of Reddit and why it wouldn't be at the top with Twitter is because you can have people following your profile, but you can't really see who they are. You can't go back and interact with them. They're just followers. And the only way to really get them to see what you're doing is by, putting it on your post on your profile, which is like, okay, now you have to post in all the different subreddits and the profile. So